You're not breaking down because of one big mistake. You're eroding from 1,000 small choices. The coffee scroll, the skipped workout, the extra hour in bed, the argument you didn't need to start. None of it feels fatal, but stacked together, day after day, they chip away at your edge. The Stoic sees this. He knows weakness isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers. These habits don't ruin your life overnight. They make you tolerate average. They make you soft in the mind, reactive, unclear. You can still smile, still work, still look successful. But inside, you've surrendered control, not to one failure, but to a pattern. A drip feed of comfort and distraction that rewires your identity without you noticing. The Stoic doesn't wait for breakdowns. He watches the small things, the casual lies, the delayed starts. The things you tell yourself are no big deal. Because he knows, that's where weakness hides. Not in crisis, in routine. And the only way to reverse it? Ruthless awareness. Mental weakness doesn't come from lack of intelligence. It comes from lack of discipline. And it's almost always born in private, in the invisible moments. You say you'll wake up early, but you hit snooze, just once. You say you'll focus, but you check your phone every 10 minutes, just a quick scroll. You say you'll eat clean, train hard, speak less, but convenience wins. One compromise at a time. The Stoic understands. Your actions don't lie. Your habits shape your mind like water carves stone, slowly, relentlessly, and without asking for permission. If you allow small indulgences, small lies, small escapes to stay, you build a mental environment of softness. You become used to feeling good instead of being strong. And by the time you notice the weakness, it's not a surface crack. It's structural. But here's the truth most people dodge. Every small decision is either sharpening you or dulling you. There is no neutral. And that's why the Stoic audits himself daily. Not for guilt, for alignment. Because if he doesn't train strength into his habits, weakness will grow there by default. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is, I'll fix it later. But later becomes never, and never becomes normal. That's why the Stoic moves now. He doesn't wait for breakdowns to wake up. He pays attention to the smallest cracks. Because he knows, when you ignore the little lies, they grow teeth. They start to shape who you are, not just what you do. You don't need more motivation. You don't need another productivity hack. You need standard. You need to draw the line and enforce it. Not because someone's watching, but because your identity depends on it. Every time you choose discomfort over ease, you strengthen the signal. I'm not soft. I don't flinch. I don't fold when no one's looking. And if you're done letting these quiet habits drain your edge, if you're ready to rebuild from the inside out, this is where you do it. Inner Legion isn't about hype. It's about hard rewiring. If that's what you came for, subscribe now. Not to follow. To fortify. Most people won't admit they're mentally weak, because it's easier to pretend everything's fine than to confront the daily betrayals, the snoozed alarms, the skipped workouts, the endless scrolling, the fake urgency. But the Stoic doesn't run from the mirror. He uses it. He knows you can't fix what you won't face, and weakness thrives in denial. The cost of small habits is never small. What seems harmless becomes a pattern. That pattern becomes identity. And identity, once formed, is hard to rewrite. That's why the Stoic is ruthless with the little things. He doesn't just fix behavior, he attacks the belief behind it. Why did I escape? Why did I lie to myself? What am I protecting? Comfort or character? He understands. Every time you choose ease over effort, you're voting against your potential. And over time, those votes add up. You can't build mental toughness with shortcuts. It's built in the reps you don't want to do. The silence you don't want to sit in, the pressure you don't want to face, and the longer you delay it, the deeper you sink into softness that looks like peace, but feels like regret. Mental weakness often wears the mask of self-care, but not the kind that heals, the kind that hides. The late-night binge disguised as stress relief, the skipped workout rationalized as rest, the passive scrolling mislabeled as unwinding. But the Stoic knows the difference between restoration and avoidance. One makes you stronger, the other erodes you slowly. He doesn't confuse ease with peace. He doesn't mistake feeling better for getting better. He tracks his habits, not because he's obsessed with perfection, but because he refuses to be fooled by comfort. Because he's seen what it costs. Indecision, mood swings, constant comparison, inability to stay still. These aren't just bad moods. They're symptoms of a weak mind shaped by weak rituals. So he trains small, not with hype, with standards. The water first thing in the morning, the cold shower, the hard conversation. The quiet room without the phone, not because they're flashy, but because they're foundation. And when you strengthen the base, the rest doesn't shake. That's the Stoic advantage. He doesn't wait to feel ready. He acts to become unshakable. Every small habit is a brick, and every day, you're building something, whether you mean to or not. A fortress of discipline, or a prison of weakness. That's the reality the Stoic never forgets. Because mental strength isn't built in the spotlight. It's built when nobody's watching. When it's cold, quiet, uncomfortable, and you choose the hard thing anyway. Most people only see the surface, success, control, clarity. But they don't see the hundreds of silent wins that built it. The skipped impulse, the honest self-check, the phone left untouched. The routine followed even when it felt pointless. That's where the edge is earned, not in grand gestures, in tiny refusals. And the question isn't, are you disciplined? It's, what have your habits been teaching your mind to expect from you? That's your mental baseline. And when pressure hits, that's exactly where you'll fall to. So now ask yourself, if someone studied your daily habits in secret, would they say you're training for strength or slipping into softness?